It seems that no sooner have we mastered one way of doing things than the world, in its infinite and rather cheeky wisdom, decides to change the rules. The ground beneath our professional feet is in a constant state of flux, shifting with new technologies, new markets, entirely new ways of conceiving of our jobs. This perpetual motion means that the comforting idea of finishing one's education has become a rather quaint notion, like a penny-farthing bicycle, the belief that television would never catch on. We are, all of us, back in school, only this time the classroom is our office, our factory floor, our home study, and the bell for dismissal never quite seems to ring. This state of affairs presents a rather fascinating conundrum for any organization that wishes to remain not just relevant, but genuinely competitive. The old model, where one would send an employee off on a jolly for a week-long training course and expect them to return fully formed and omniscient, is proving to be hopelessly inadequate. The gap between the structured lesson and its practical application at the coalface of daily work has shrunk to a sliver. Learning is no longer a discrete event, a special occasion marked on a calendar. It must become as much a part of the workday as a morning cup of tea, the slightly baffling emails we all receive. To navigate this new landscape, we must recognize that learning is not a monolith. It is a wonderfully varied and multifaceted creature. We must stop thinking of it solely in terms of formal, structured training. The truth is that some of the most profound and useful lessons are learned not in a hushed lecture hall, but in the chaotic, messy, and wonderfully human interactions of everyday work. The challenge, then, is not to choose one form of learning over the other, but to weave them together into a single, elegant, and effective tapestry that supports continuous growth. This integration is the secret sauce, the magic ingredient that transforms investment in training from a hopeful expense into a tangible driver of success. When an organization truly understands how to blend the deliberate instruction of formal education with the organic, emergent wisdom of on-the-job experience, it unlocks a formidable power. It creates a workforce that is not only skilled. Let us for a moment define our terms with a pleasing simplicity. Formal learning is the sort we all recognize from our school days. It is structured, planned, and delivered with a specific objective in mind. Think of it as a carefully plotted journey with a map, a guide, a predetermined destination. This includes company-wide compliance training, technical certification programs, leadership workshops, onboarding sessions. It has a beginning, a middle, an end, often culminating in a certificate or official validation. Its strength is delivering consistent foundational knowledge to large groups efficiently and verifiably. On the other hand, informal learning is wonderfully unruly. This is the learning that happens by osmosis, the knowledge absorbed by being present and engaged. The impromptu 5-minute chat with a seasoned colleague showing a spreadsheet shortcut, the flash of insight, while wrestling with a stubborn problem, observing a manager handling a difficult client call. It is unplanned, unstructured, often entirely unintentional. Informal learning is the very essence of learning by doing, by watching, and by asking, "How on earth did you do that?" It is a common and rather grave error to view these two modes of learning as being in opposition, as if they were rival football teams. The reality is that they are partners in a dance, each one strengthening and giving meaning to the other. Formal learning provides the essential grammar and vocabulary, the fundamental theories, principles, and procedures. It lays the groundwork and erects scaffolding. Informal learning breathes life into that structure, transforming abstract concepts into tangible skills through the glorious, messy process of trial, error, feedback, and repetition in the real world. Consider a chef. They might attend a prestigious culinary academy, a bastion of formal learning, to master the 5 mother sources of French cuisine. They learn the theory, the precise measurements, the correct techniques, but true mastery only comes later, in the heat of the kitchen, during a busy service. It comes from the informal lessons of adjusting a sauce that has split, of feeling the texture of a dough, of learning from the muttered advice of the head chef. The formal training provided the recipe, but the informal, hands-on experience is what enables them to cook with genuine flair and intuition. The two are inextricably linked. Some of the most forward-thinking organizations have intuitively grasped this symbiotic relationship and have built their entire learning ethos around it. Take Microsoft, for instance. It provides its engineers with an immense library of formal technical courses. It simultaneously fosters internal forums, project-based teams, hackathons. An employee can learn a new coding language in a structured class, then immediately apply it in a collaborative project and seek real-time advice from peers in an online community. The formal knowledge becomes a tool, sharpened through informal application and the collective wisdom of colleagues. Pixar offers another example. The studio institutionalized learning through Braintrust meetings. Daily reviews are part of the routine. Colleagues view work in progress and give candid feedback. These aren't formal classes, but are repeatable parts of the workflow. They let people learn directly from practice, so each project and artist improves. This combination creates an expansive learning environment. It encourages curiosity, experimentation, open sharing of knowledge. Asking a question becomes communal progress. A restrictive environment does the opposite. It hoards information, it punishes mistakes, it limits roles to narrow tasks. Learning withers and the organization becomes brittle. Leadership decides the climate. Managers are the gardeners of learning. Great managers coach rather than direct. They design stretch assignments. They provide psychological safety to try and fail. They carve out time for reflection and feedback. They ask probing questions, not just give answers. They champion and model knowledge sharing. When managers support transfer from classroom to daily work, the system flourishes. While we sing the praises of informal learning, we must also address a rather thorny issue. Fairness, The unstructured nature of informal learning, its reliance on networks and happenstance, means it can inadvertently become an engine of inequality. The most valuable informal learning opportunities, mentorship from a senior leader, inclusion in a high-stakes project, access to influential networks, often flow to those who are already well-connected or who fit a certain mold. Those in lower status roles, remote workers, women, older employees, members of minority groups, can easily be left standing on the outside, looking in. An organization committed to true growth must therefore be intensely deliberate about ensuring equitable access to these developmental opportunities. It is not enough to simply hope that learning will happen. One must design a system where it can happen for everyone. This involves creating formal mentorship and sponsorship programs that pair junior employees with senior leaders, ensuring that everyone has a guide. It means using job rotation, cross-functional projects to expose a wider range of people to different parts of the business. It requires leaders to be vigilant, to look for those who are being left out and actively pull them into the conversation. Technology, that double-edged sword of modern life, plays a fascinating and complex role here. On one hand, it can be a tremendous democratizer of learning. Online course platforms provide access to world-class instruction for anyone with an internet connection. Internal social media and collaboration tools like Slack Teams can create digital water coolers where knowledge is shared freely across departments and geographies. AI-powered systems can even recommend personalized learning paths, nudging employees towards skills they might need for their next role. Technology can, in theory, flatten hierarchies and broaden access for all. Yet technology can just as easily create new divides. The employee who is less digitally savvy may be left behind. The remote worker may miss out on the crucial, spontaneous hallway conversations that their in-office colleagues take for granted. And over-reliance on algorithms can reinforce existing biases if not carefully designed and monitored. The solution is to design our technological systems with inclusion as a primary goal. This means providing digital literacy training, actively building vibrant online communities to replicate informal social learning, and ensuring that virtual mentorship programs are as robust and well supported as their in-person counterparts. So, how does an organization move from merely acknowledging this principle to actively practicing it? The journey begins, as most sensible journeys do, with a clear-eyed assessment of needs. Leaders must ask not only what skills are vital for success today, but what capabilities will be required to win in the future. This analysis should then inform the design of formal training programs and, just as importantly, the design of work itself. Jobs should be crafted not just for maximum efficiency, but also for maximum learning, with built-in opportunities for practice, reflection, and collaboration. The next practical step is to train the managers. It is a delightful irony that to foster informal learning, one often needs a dose of formal training for the leaders who oversee it. Managers must be taught how to be effective coaches, how to give constructive feedback, and how to create an atmosphere of psychological safety. They must be empowered to support their team members' growth and, crucially, they must be rewarded for doing so. If a manager's performance is judged solely on short-term output, they will have little incentive to invest time in the long-term development of their people. Furthermore, organizations should actively build and nurture communities of practice. These are groups of people who share a common craft or profession, be it software engineering, marketing, customer service, who come together regularly to share tips, discuss challenges, and collectively advance their field. These communities provide a structure for informal learning to flourish, creating a reliable forum for the exchange of that precious, hard-won, tacit knowledge that never quite makes it into a training manual. Rewarding those who actively share their expertise within these communities sends a powerful signal that hoarding knowledge is out and collaboration is in. Ultimately, the goal is to build a culture where learning is not a separate activity, but an intrinsic part of the daily rhythm of work. We must shift our focus from merely tracking course completions to measuring the actual application of new skills on the job. Encourage individuals to take ownership of their growth by discussing learning goals in every performance review. When learning becomes a continuous, integrated, and equitable habit, the organization transforms. It becomes a living, breathing entity, more resilient, more innovative, and altogether better prepared to thrive in our endlessly fascinating and ever-changing world. Leaders and HR, the stage is yours. It is time to build this integrated system.